What is... You okay? No, I guess not. Hey there, my name's Ryan, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're back on some Destiny, because in the last video, I mentioned that I was going to talk about the Edge of Fate reveal, and also the Renegades reveal from that livestream. We're here playing on my Hunter today. I do want to show off the new Sparrow though, because we did manage to unlock this during the new event. So we're going to take this to a patrol space, and we're just going to have a little play around with it. There's been a little bit that's been going on in Destiny this week. There's something else that I want to talk about as well, which is related to the Right of the Nine event. And yeah, it's not what I was expecting, to be honest. And when I say that, I mean with how the event was being rolled out. But I'll talk more about that in like a little bit. One thing which I did notice about the new Sparrow is that it's slower than all the other ones. So that's like the main downside to it. But pull it out here. It is huge. So it has like a main primary fire. So there's like a big shotgun blast type thing. But based on your subclass, you can fire rockets that'll have a different effect. So because I'm on solar, it like sets them alight. But if I was on arc, it would blind them. So I can see it being used in like in high level content. Maybe I don't really know. That's just something that like we'll have to test and see, just see how good it is. I think for like just sort of like in a round, it's like a pretty good alternative to like a skimmer or like a sparrow or anything like that. Because you actually like, you know, fight enemies with it. Like this guy right here is just gonna get blasted. This guy blasted. I hope that we get more sparrows that have like a unique ability, because I think it'd be cool to have like different variants of sparrow. Because I mean, god, for like how many years? 10 years we've just had like the same Sparrow until like the skimmer, which for those who don't know, I'll show you what the skimmer is. This thing, it's essentially like a surfboard. It has like different little animations you can play for like dodging, and if you hold the control button, you can glide. That means that you can go in areas that you would not be able to with this thing, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's the new Sparrow, and honestly, pretty cool addition. Really like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to run through like some strikes or something just while I talk about this, just because like I don't want to like do any high level content whilst I'm trying to like look at my notes and stuff. I did take down notes because my memory is terrible. I'll also put up some like reference clips whenever I'm talking about certain things. So like if you've not seen the reveal stream, don't worry about that. I got you covered. But yeah, so the main thing that was talked about is essentially the new saga. Of course, this saga we were just in was the Light and Darkness saga, which is now ended with the final shape. This new saga is called the Fate saga. And from what they went into, we're going to finally be delving into what the Nine is and what they've been doing. Because according to the live stream, they've been around longer than the Traveler. And essentially, it's going to have a big focus on the solar system. We're going to a new planet called Kepler. And from what they described the planet as being, is a player-driven exploration and discovery of the new planet. So the other thing which they talked about there as well is the new kind of like ability we're going to be getting in Kepler. And that ability is called Dark Matter. And it comes in different forms. The main one they showed off was essentially like a little arc ball you could turn into and like roam around and do like some damage. They referenced that it could be used to like explore the planet more. They showed like a little section where you combine like another dark matter power, where you could like build a platform for like a certain period of time and then go into the ball mode and then traverse across that platform. So from what they've described, there's going to be a lot of exploration when it comes to Kepler, which I think is good, because not gonna lie, the last time I've spent like any time in any destination at once might have been like the Pale Heart. That's really it. And like the reason why I say in the Pale Heart is because I liked exploring. That's like always like the best thing about a new expansion is exploring the new zone. I know like for every expansion that came out, I would spend literal hours in those patrol zones and like grinding all the way to power and like the power cap. So I'm glad there's gonna be more like involvement in the exploration. You have to figure out some little puzzles to get to places here and there. So pretty excited about that. You know, I actually haven't played this new strike yet, which is, I believe it's a revamp strike, because this came out during Echoes, which honestly not a huge fan of Echoes. I didn't play much during Echoes because I think that's when I was burnt out the most of Destiny. So like I did catch up with the episode like mission and stuff like that, and it just wasn't very, I wasn't as interested as what I thought it'd be. Like the mission progress was the exotic mission over and over and over again, and it just wasn't that fun. Back on track with the Edge of Fate. So they revealed a new character that's going to be part of the story as well. Their name is called Lodi, and the way they described him is essentially he's like a fish out of water. The main thing that kind of got me here is that they stated that he was very far away from home. Now, my theory might be far-fetched, but I believe that he's either going to be connected to the 9 in some way. Maybe he is one of the 9 in person, or he could be from like a different time, because he mentioned he's very far away from home. Now, are they talking about distance, or are they talking about time? That's the way which I'm going with it right now, and that's like my sort of like theory on it. Ikora is also going to be there as well. She's going to be like a main character. Like I'm assuming like for the kind of like how Osiris was a main character for Lightfall and stuff like that. Yeah, that's mainly all they talked about when it came to the Edge of Fate. There were 2 new enemy types they shown off. There was the Corsair, like Fallen with a jetpack, and there was a new Vex type enemy that has like a swarm around them. And like the only thing I thought of when I saw that is, oh my god, this is gonna suck for GMs. Hang on. I love this sniper rifle. But yeah, like, the things they showed off with the new gameplay is they showed off a new thing that they're introducing called the gameplay portal. On the screen that they showed like different sections. So you have like a solo playlist, a fire team playlist, a pinnacle playlist, and a crucible playlist. And one thing they mentioned is that it's gonna have a more personal drive when doing your like power climb. They also did announce it that you could for once climb the power cap in Crucible now. So like that's essentially going back to like what it used to be in D1, where you could do like the power climb in Crucible, which is pretty good. They talked more about Armor 3.0, which essentially we're getting new set bonuses, and we're also getting like tiered armor as well. Same thing goes for weapons as well. We're getting tiered weapons. The tiers go from 1 to 5, which is going to have more stats. And yeah, honestly, the weapon changes are pretty cool in themselves, but I'm really glad that they're addressing armor, because I'm not going to lie to you, I have not cared about armor in years. I've got like an armor piece that I want, and I've kept it, because there's no point in grinding it. With transmog, like, again, no point in getting new armor because you can just transmog it. So I'm glad that they're addressing that and making the armor chase like feel fresh again in the game. There was one complaint I saw from people though, and it was the fact of like people saying like, oh, so automatically tier 1 and 4 are going to be bad, which I can understand that point of view, but I hope the way they're going with it is, if like, because they mentioned like the higher the tier item you want, the harder the difficulty you're gonna get. And I can imagine like the 1% managing to do like a really difficult activity with tier 1 gear, but I can imagine for the average player it may be the case of like, oh, if you want to do a tier 3 activity, it's best to have like at least tier 1 or 2 stuff to then complete that activity. And then if you want tier 5 stuff, you need to have like tier 4 or tier 3 stuff. So there is going to be a purpose to grinding it, but I can understand that once you have tier 5, everything else becomes like redundant essentially. But that's like the whole point, because you're grinding for the good stuff. You're not going to be keeping your tier 1 stuff or anything like that once you have like that one tier 5 weapon you want. All in all, good change, more of a chase, and again, it gives more of a reason to actually play the game to like unlock the new stuff. So I'm all for it. One other thing they talked about there as well is of course with the roadmap. So I'll put the roadmap on the screen here, but we're getting 2 expansions and 2 major updates with 4 seasons. From what they've said, essentially the seasons and the major updates are going to be free for all players. So the main thing that's going to be paid are the expansions, and I believe the reward pass as well. So like if you want the battle pass to get all the cosmetic stuff, that would be paid. But the seasonal content itself, that's going to be free. Honestly, good change. Trying to get people into Destiny is like more of a challenge because you need to tell them to buy certain things. So it's a good onboarding process to get more players into Destiny, and I'm really happy about that. Very good. We got some information about the first major update coming after the Edge of Fate as well, and that is called, check my notes here. Yeah, the first one is called Ash of Iron. No, sorry. The first major update is called Ash of... Yeah, I keep saying Ash of, it's not Ash of. My god, man, I'm f***ing this up. I'm still quite new at this, like, commentary thing, so I do apologize if I keep messing up my words. But yeah, the first major update is called Ash and Iron. And from what they've talked about, just a tiny bit during the reveal, is we're going back to the Plague Lands, which for those who don't know, was the major location in the Rise of Iron expansion. What is... You okay? No, I guess not. Yeah, so we're going back to the Plague Lands for the Ash and Iron major update. It didn't go into too much about it. That was the main thing we got, so no mention of Siva. The other one is called Shadow and Order, which we don't know anything about that yet, but we are getting another reveal closer to the time for the next expansion, which is actually the next thing on my list. Look at that, amazing. We're doing good at this. The other expansion coming out this year is called Renegades, and this one stirred up I don't want to say a controversy, but people were a bit worried about this one. When they announced it, they essentially said that it's an homage to an already existing franchise, and when it was revealed, we saw that the series they were talking about was Star Wars, because you see a warlock holding a lightsaber and a hunter holding like the Han Solo pistol type thing. So this worried a bit of people, and I can understand the worry, but they didn't make it very clear what this expansion was. They said that it's an homage to the Star Wars franchise. So what they mean by that is that it's not a Star Wars expansion. It's not going to be Star Wars coming into, like, you know, the Destiny universe. That's not happening. It's just taking inspiration for like the setting of Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars. Made it very clear, it's not Star Wars. Honestly, I'm excited because on the blurb in game, when you go to like the timeline bit, which I'll show that there as well, it references about a dredgen, which for those who don't know, dredgens are part of like the main lore of Destiny. Is like, to make it very like simple, they're like evil guardians. So having the dredgens come into the main story, I'm very excited. And to be honest, I'm a fan of Star Wars, and I want to see what they do with it. So I'm excited to see the reveal later on this year. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that's like essential to the new system there. What are my like official thoughts about it? For the Edge of Fate, I'm pretty excited, mainly for the new changes coming to like the sandbox and like the armor and the weapons. The story, I'm very interested to see what they're doing with the Nine. The Nine's not been something we've really talked about. They've been around for like a long time. I mean, like we have Zur in a tower every Friday, like, and he's like an emissary of the Nine type thing. So it'd be good to get more knowledge about them, because I think that that's the one mystery we have left in the Destiny universe. As for the new destination, I hope that it's like what they say, where it's gonna be exploration focused, and we get to explore and like find all the secrets and stuff like that. That's the one thing I hope is true. But all in all, for Edge of Fate, really excited. Can't wait for some new Destiny content. As for Renegades, again, pretty excited about it. We're gonna have to wait and see when the reveal comes out for more information, because at the moment we just have that teaser trailer. We have nothing else really to go off of. From first impressions, again, as a Star Wars fan and a Destiny fan, I'm pretty excited. I can understand people's worry, but I think we're just gonna have to wait and see for the reveal to get like a good idea on what it's gonna be like. I know like I've been talking a lot about the Edge of Fate, but just playing through this strike again, it's bringing back some memories, I'll tell you that. Last time I think I played this was like years ago, like this specific strike. Alright, let's see how they change this boss. Alright. That did not do as much damage as I thought it would. So it seems to be like the same as like the previous strike variant, or the original I should say. Because now he's going to disappear and the platform's going to fall. So he's going to fall right here. So now he's solar, but can we just bypass this? No. So I do a little bit more damage. Oh, I just popped it. Alright, sorry, Goblin. Like, I remember playing this strike during the original, like, Destiny beta. Like, the Destiny 2 beta, because this was the only, like, PvE activity you could play during the beta. Oh my god, the memories. Oh, I just punched the exploding thing. We're tighten that heart. There we go. Nice. The other thing I want to talk about today as well is the, like, situation with the Right of the Nine stuff. So, originally, this is what I thought as well. That with each week, we get a new dungeon as part of the event. And the first dungeon that came out was Spire the Watcher. Pretty good. The weapons are pretty cool that you get from it as well. Like the shinies, the adept weapons, all that kind of stuff. I like the event so far. But with this weekly reset, I was really expecting to get another dungeon. Kind of like how, you know, on the weekly reset, it would like change week by week. And that didn't happen this week because we got Spire again. And people blew up on Twitter, essentially. It led to them posting a tweet talking about, like, yes, it is a 3-week rotation. And again, people were not happy about that. Later on that night, they did put out another tweet. The Destiny 2 team tweeted out essentially saying, like, we're going to change it from a 3-week schedule to a 2-week schedule. And they're adding, like, a bit more at the very end there as well to, like, keep us, like, going all the way up until the Edge of Fate. I'm glad they're listening back to feedback, but I think it should have been communicated a bit better. People getting upset about it wouldn't have happened in the first place. I remember them specifically saying that each week there would be a new dungeon on the original live stream. So I think if they communicated it better in like this recent stream, that they were changing that to make it be a 3-week, they could have like gotten that feedback on pretty early. I'm glad that they've changed it because honestly, the dungeons are the only reason I'm really like logging back onto Destiny right now. Like, there's no real purpose for me to like get on and like do anything like higher activity. Like, the Right of the Nine event is the one thing keeping me going at the moment. That's not a bad thing, of course. I just mean that as like, I don't have anything else to do, like really. Although I do still want to keep playing. I do love Destiny. It may seem like I hate the game, but I don't. I love Destiny. It's just that, like, you know, there's not much to do right now. And having the dungeon rotation go back to Spire didn't really help the situation. One thing that I was meant to say at the very start of the video, but completely forgot about. That's it. Still new with this. I just want to say thank you for the first video because having a look at it, it's reached over 100 viewers. And honestly, that's pretty amazing. I didn't think that it was going to like do that well, but I'm glad that it did. And thankful for everyone that did watch the video and took their time to, you know, listen to me scream into the microphone whilst playing the new event. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Apart from that though, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any other feedback or suggestions or anything like that, leave them down in the comments. But yeah, apart from that though, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.